Are you sick and tired of landlubbers telling you what to do? Then you're exactly the kind of scallywag that this game is made for. This is Plunder, an open-world RPG where you battle ship to ship, sword to sword, and try to manage a crew full of drunks, mutineers, and people who have absolutely no business being on a boat. I'm building the whole thing solo, and it's going to be free to play, because I want any broke sailor with a dream and a little heart to become a pirate. No pirate game has ever fully scratched the itch I've had. Sea of Thieves, Black Flag, Sid Meier's Pirates, they all do something great, but none of them hit everything I'm craving. So I'm combining the best parts of all of them into one big, messy adventure. Plunder's going to be immersive, dynamic, full of real exploration, complex combat, and a cast of legends and idiots that feel like real pirates, not cardboard quest givers. So in this video, I'll show you what I've built so far, walk through the core ideas behind Plunder, and share my short-term plan leading up to the demo release. This voyage is just getting started, and there's still a whole ocean to build, but if you want to help shape this game and be part of the crew from the very beginning, hoist that like button and subscribe. We're just leaving port. Alright, let me give you the grand tour of Plunder so far. It's not a vast sea yet, more like a puddle, but this little world is starting to come alive. Right now there's only one port, a crusty little place called Kelptown. That's where your journey begins, and the first thing you'll do is take command of your very own ship. You don't just click where you want to go, you're actually steering the thing. I want it to feel like you're standing at the helm, spinning that creaky wooden wheel and hoping you don't crash into a rock. And of course, there's the cannons. You can fire a full broadside from both sides of the ship, letting off a barrage. If you see my TikToks, you already know I spent way too much time working on this, but thanks to all the community feedback, I think it's looking pretty good. I wanted it to feel like your crew's frantically lighting fuses the second you shout fire. Eventually, you'll be able to upgrade every part of your ship. Better cannons, faster sails, new ship types, but it's not just about the boat. Your crew matters too. The sailors on board will change how your cannons fire, how tight your turns are, how fast you can reload, and a bunch more. A good crew will make your ship feared, a bad one might blow it up from the inside. There's already a basic enemy ship AI you can fight, it's just the start, but it's already fun trying to line up the perfect shot without getting blasted out of the water yourself. But Plunder isn't just a sailing simulator where you lob cannonballs around. The ship's just the beginning. If we dock back at Kelptown, you can switch into the player view and walk around on land. There's no loading screen, just a smooth camera zoom straight into the world, where you go from steering the whole ship to exploring the island on foot. The way I built it, every pixel you see while sailing matches perfectly to a 16 by 16 tile on land. So if you saw a tiny shack from your ship, you can walk right into it in the player view. It makes the world feel like one big place instead of a bunch of chopped up scenes. I want it to feel immersive, like you're living in a pirate world, not just jumping between menus. There's only one island so far, but trust me, there's more land on the horizon. We just gotta wait for the tectonic plates to cook up some new locations. Character customization is already fully functional, and I genuinely think it's one of the best customization systems you'll find in any game. You can change out every part of your character's look. Hats, hair, pants, coats, even accessories like eye patches, hooks, and peg legs. You can roll up your sleeves or unbutton your shirt. You can draw scars and tattoos on your character, and more. But I'm saving the deep dive on customization for a separate video because honestly, there's a lot to show and I want to give it its own spotlight. For now, just know that once you're walking around on land, there's plenty to explore. You can stroll through Kelptown, pop into buildings, including the Kelptown Inn, where most of the town's most colorful personalities hang out. I've also built a full dialogue system that supports branching conversations and real quests. It's not just random NPCs shouting pirate cliches. You can actually talk to people, learn about them, argue with them, and depending on how things go, even convince them to join your crew. Some crewmates can be bought with gold. Others, you'll need to win a bar fight, a drinking contest, or settle an argument about who really owns the town parrot. I've also built a cutscene system that lets your character appear in scripted moments. I'm not showing much of that yet, I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm excited about where it's going. It's early days, and Kelptown still has a lot of barnacles to scrape off, but it's starting to feel like a real place. But a pirate's life isn't just sailing and sweet-talking salty locals. Sometimes things get stabby. The swordfighting system isn't fully fleshed out yet, but it's something I've already spent a lot of time experimenting with. I want it to be fun and active, something that lets your skills shine while still tying into your character's stats, your gear, and even your crew. Since this game is going to be on both PC and mobile, I also need controls that make sense on both, which is a pretty big challenge. So I've been prototyping a bunch of different systems. I tried something kind of like Fruit Ninja, where you swipe projectiles to attack. I also built a turn-based system that uses your crew members like a combat team, kind of like Pokemon, where each one brings different moves or support abilities. And then there's a version inspired by Infinity Blade, full of dodges, parries, and active timing-based swordplay. It's still a major work in progress. I might scrap all of those systems, or I might mash them together into something that actually works. I'm not really sure yet. But I'd love to hear what you think. If you have ideas for sword fighting mechanics that would feel fun, intuitive, and actually piratey, let me know in the comments. This is a game I'm making with you. I want to involve the community as much as possible. So that's where we're at. A tiny town, a buggy boat, and a bunch of systems slowly coming together. But why go through all this trouble? Why make a pirate RPG in the first place? And what makes Plunder different from the ones we already have? If I had to carve a Mount Rushmore of pirate games, I'd say it's Sea of Thieves, Black Flag, and Sid Meier's Pirates. Those three are legendary. And before I say anything else, I want to be clear. I love all of them. They're fantastic, super fun, and clearly made with care. But none of them hit everything I want out of a pirate game, and that's where Plunder comes in. Let's start with Sea of Thieves. There's a lot to love. It's a giant open world sandbox, and I really admire that from the second you set sail, you can go anywhere and do anything. The art style is beautiful, the ship mechanics are super polished, steering, adjusting sails, firing cannons, it all feels good. And when you're playing with friends, it's an absolute blast. But at the same time, I think the multiplayer focus can be a downside. It often feels like you have to play with others to really enjoy it, and PvP is always on, which can be exhausting if you're looking for a chill solo experience. And maybe this has changed since I last played, but there wasn't much of a progression system. The grind was mostly for cosmetics, so there wasn't a big reason to keep playing once the novelty wore off. Then there's Assassin's Creed Black Flag. The atmosphere of this game is perfect. The pirate vibe is strong, the music, the voice acting, the stormy seas is all top notch. There's a good story and tons to explore, but at the end of the day, it's still an Assassin's Creed game, which means it leans hard on stealth and Templar lore. There's not a lot of traditional pirate gameplay, and the crew mostly feels like background noise. Now, Sid Meier's Pirates, this one's a classic. It's open-ended, full of strategic depth, and packed with little minigames. You can chase down treasure, duel other captains, dance with the governor's daughter, all that good stuff. Honestly, I don't have any complaints about this one. It's just old. I want to modernize what made it great and breathe new life into that kind of gameplay. There have been a few other solid pirate games over the years too, but a lot of them, especially the mobile ones, are just rough. If you search for pirate on the App Store right now, you'll find a bunch of low-effort cash grabs with clunky controls and zero soul. And one thing I've noticed across all pirate games, even the good ones, is that the crew doesn't get enough love. But your crew is everything in a real pirate story. They're not just background models, they're your weird little dysfunctional family. That's a huge part of Plunder, and something I want to make feel meaningful. Now, aside from pirate games, I've pulled a ton of inspiration from other genres too. One of the biggest ones is old school RuneScape. I think it has some of the best quests in gaming. They're funny, they have real storylines, and they're never just go fetch 5 grizzly bear butt cheeks. Plus, they nailed making the progression system feel satisfying, even if it's unbearably slow. And I also love the loot system in RuneScape. Another big one is Realm of the Mad God. If you haven't played it, it's a permadeath MMO where your character dies and you lose everything. I don't want Plunder to be that punishing, I'm not that cruel, but I do want to bring some of that tension. I want failure to have weight. If your ship sinks, you might lose crewmates. If you die, maybe all your gold goes down with you. There should be real consequences because that's what makes an adventure feel real. So with all that in mind, the highs from other games, the gaps I want to fill, the tone I'm chasing, here are the core ideas that everything in Plunder is built around. First off, I want Plunder to feel piratey. I want you to feel like you're living the pirate fantasy. The rum, the sword fights, the treasure maps, the chaotic tavern brawls, the absolute nonsense you and your crew get into, all of it. This world should feel immersive, funny, and packed with all the classic pirate tropes that made us all fall in love with the genre in the first place. Second, I want the game to be fun, like actually fun. The combat should feel good, the minigames should be addictive, the progression should make you want to keep playing just one more mission. I don't want anything to feel like filler. Every part of the game should be engaging, challenging, in a satisfying way, and worth your time. Third, I want Plunder to take place in an open world that's actually worth exploring. You should be able to go wherever you want, make decisions that have consequences, and carve out your own pirate story along the way. I want you to feel like your actions shape the world, not just fill in a checklist. Fourth, and this one's really important, the crew. Most games treat the crew like decorations. In Plunder, they're the heart of the story. Each one has a personality. You'll bond with them, argue with them, recruit them in weird ways, lose them if things go wrong, and rely on them to stay afloat. They're not background noise, they matter, both in gameplay and in how your story unfolds. And finally, I want to build this game with you. The community isn't just an audience, you're part of the crew. I'll be leaning hard on your feedback, ideas, and testing as this thing grows. I want Plunder to be a game that you love, not just because it's fun, but because you helped shape it. Whether you're backing on Patreon, shouting ideas in the comments, or just watching along for the ride, you're part of the team. So what can you expect in the short-term future? If all goes well, I'm aiming to release a demo on Steam by the end of the summer. It'll be small, scrappy, and bare bones, but I wanted to include the first version of the core gameplay loop. Here's how it'll work. You'll start by creating your character. Then you'll run through a short tutorial, one for sword fighting and one for ship battles. From there, you'll recruit a couple of crew members in town, talk to locals, and pick up your first quest. That quest will send you after a ship carrying treasure. It might be a Royal Navy vessel, a fat merchant galleon, or just another unlucky pirate. You'll sail out, track it down, fire your cannons, dodge theirs, and once it's weakened, you'll board it. That's where the sword fighting kicks in. You'll fight off the enemy crew, secure the ship, and grab the loot. So that's the main loop. Prepare, sail, battle, board, loot. And then it starts all over again, but each time with different challenges, new decisions, and more chaos. Of course, that's just the beginning. After the demo drops, I'll be pushing frequent updates to expand everything. More quests, more locations, more crew mechanics, better combat, better AI, and way more content. Right now, I'd say most of the demo is already in place. What's left is finishing the sword fighting system, implementing shipboarding, and then a whole bunch of polish and testing to make sure it doesn't explode the moment you boot it up. But we're close, and once that first build is out, I'll be updating it constantly and bringing you along for every step of the journey. If you're interested in becoming a tester for Plunder in the future, hop aboard the Patreon, the link's down in the description. You can join completely for free, and I'll be using it to roll out early builds, get feedback, and bring people in the testing phase as things come together. If you want to stay up to date with the game, I'm all over the place. On TikTok, I'm posting all the little development updates, the weird bugs, the cool features, the canon experiments. On Instagram, it'll be mostly memes and progress pics. And on YouTube, I'll keep dropping the big, in-depth videos like this one, where we break things down and show the real progress. So, if you're interested in the game, please subscribe, follow along, and tell a friend who might want to play a pirate RPG. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in Plunder.